blessing, my job decided to feed me tonight. So it's just weird, like how things play out, somewhat, if you will. Um, but other than that, y'all give me a sec. I'll load in so I can join the chat with you guys. I don't know what I'd be doing on my phone sometimes. I could be in my hand 1 minute and then the next minute it's like I guess I put it somewhere. You just give me one sec, fellas. There it is. Oh, I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old. But with age comes wisdom, and I would love to bestow that upon you, fellas. Try to give you some go-to pointers right here before we start hopping deep into it. So one of the first things is you want to kind of minimalize having to flip. I mean, like, you can flip your play, but when you're constantly not sure, you know, if you deal with a formation and you just don't feel like you have the matchup, you need a second go-to. So like if you're running the 4-3 under, and let's say your Sam linebacker is more or less going to be on the right, you know, the other version of the 4-3 under is the 3-4 over. Okay, it's the reason why I have my D-line set up the way I have it set up, so I can play both and not really lose anything, right? Oh shit, excuse me. Haven't got full in a while, man. Like, I don't know what it feels like. I got full today. God bless me. Brought me some free food. See, when you do your job so well, fellas, this is just a life lesson here, man. Even when you leave that job, it's at that moment where the work that you put forth is going to come into question. Okay? Were you good at your job enough for them to realize, hey, we made a mistake, we need to get this guy back? And that's pretty much what happened, you know? I felt like I was being underpaid. You know, like, you can't just hire people off the streets and pay them more than what your current workers are making because of the pandemic. Because I understand you need help, and enticing them with a better pay, you know, is nice and all, but what are you going to do for your current workers? Well, the system that they had laid out just wasn't beneficial for, you know, giving raises to the people already employed. So when I left, I guess after this week and a half, 2 weeks, actually this whole month, really. Well, they realized that they realized what kind of worker you were, and, you know, how they miss you and stuff. So, you know, so they offered me my job back and offered me more money. So, you know, that pays out. Sometimes you gotta stand strong. Sometimes you gotta bend and break a little before you can come up, you know. So I mean, that's just the funny way that life works. All right, so just give me one sec. Without further ado, you want to kind of make your 4-3 under and your 3-4 over kind of resemble one another, you know. More or less, it's all about really positioning, you know. Like, I would probably make a few modifications to it that I see, because this is sub linebackers, 3-4 over. probably put, I don't want him there. I'll fix that later. But pretty much, more or less, is you want to make sure that you have your two A-gap defenses without necessarily have to be relying on flipping, right? So if I know they're doing handoffs to the right, I'm going to play 3-4 over. If I know they're doing handoffs to the left, I'm going to play 4-3 under. And I'm going to turn that auto flipping off. Like that auto flip can mess you up, especially if you're a personnel guy. Because last thing I want is, unique playing and coverage. I want him to rush the passer from, the standing position. I want him as a true Sam. Usually any play that I'm picking, I'll make sure that he's in that position. And because of that, I will probably opt, trying to figure out how I want to do this here. I could probably opt to manually sub them out at best. Like if I'm playing coverage, or if I know I'm playing coverage, like I could probably go like a D-line sub package and then just manually sub unique out right here. I can go ahead and just put a lock with a solid linebacker, like a will linebacker, like Diablo would be perfect here. And that'll put unique on the line, so that'll probably be a better setup. I do know that if I had speed on the inside, that would be better. You know what? So we'll just go more coverage. Let me see. It's really, I'll probably put Littleton there and Diablo there, so that's probably a better setup. So again, like I've been you want to base more or less off of the Sam Blitz too, and you kind of pay attention to the red alignments, because there's another play that we're going to try to get into. Like some of these plays, like the gaps are intentionally reopening, like the Mike Sam crash press we can create pressure from, the strong safety Sam crash press we can create pressure from. There's a lot of things in here that we can kind of take away, more or less, and create things with. So it's like if we go with, for instance, I'm just going to kind of give you guys this setup here. Like if I'm going with this edge sting as, if I know that they're just dialing cover 2 beaters, I'll legit go man. It's really the only time that I'm going to play man. Like it's not something that I'm, like I don't play a lot of man. You guys know this. With that being said, like I said, you want a turbo, like strong formation. Sometimes I said you might run this flipped. I'm just trying to remember. Yeah, you'll run this flipped, I think. Slide to the strong, crash out, and then you can bring him into coverage and blitz through there. So you're forcing your contain, and man coverage is going to be your safeties. So that's fine. Like we're not worried about that. So with your contain defender, your assignment, you're the contain, so you got to get on the inside of those runs if you can. I don't know why that just happened, but maybe I shouldn't have ran it flip. Let me see. More or less. That's how I've been running it. It's pretty much like that. Because when you swap that, you see how that happens, man. Let's slow it down for you guys. The way I started running these defensive fronts is I'll drop defensive linemen into zone, And because, you know, the fact, like, see how the linebacker's coming up behind him, it's going to force, see how that gap just opens wide up. And you could opt to put like a faster line, but like 2 fast linebackers in there. I just like Littleton because he can tackle. Like, you don't necessarily just need speed only. You know, you can kind of be creative. So it's really, that's all you need to do. Use blitz behind them, and then you can kind of play over the top if you're worried about anything deep. Look at her. So it's a solid, like, it's not too technical. You slow it down, watch the defensive end drop back, and because of the angle of the Mike linebacker, he's going to force that center over. And this blitz is designed to get your will linebacker through because of this unique, look how wide this is. This is why wide nines are tough to defend, because they force the tackle and the guard to play wider than they should. So you need a solid 3 tech that can handle the guard, and then you have a 9 tech that's going to attract double teams. Like if he tries to double team him, he's going to have that attention. You know, and usually if you can get that kind of angle right there, that running back isn't going to be able to pick up that inside blitz, you know. So always just make sure that you're sending what he's blocking. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're sending 6 on 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're just doing a swap. Because if I run it as is, it's not going to come through like that, right? You know, I could probably put this guy in his zone, maybe. He can't run that vert hook, so he's not going to be staying with it. But let's see if I run it just like this. Notice that gap, he's going to get picked up by the running back. You know, so that one small adjustment, even without sliding the line, just swap them two. That's all you got to do. And watch your will linebacker just squeeze through there. So I'm going to be utilizing this a lot in my defenses. Like even in my 3-4. Like when I opt to start playing man coverage. Again, like I said, if you run cover 2, it's safe to come out in man coverage as a safeguard. Because, you know, they start running cover 2 beaters, you know, where are they going to go? You know, so it's just basically that concept that you have to kind of squeeze into your mind a little bit. Now, same thing with the 3-4. If you're running the sting pinch zone, cover 2, obviously you're going to give up the flats. So you need to make sure that sting pinch should probably be your audible down. I need to change that and kind of show you guys how we can run this defense multiple ways. From the 4-3 under and the 3-4 over, not really any problems. Kind of just do some runs. Probably put him in a vert hook. Blitz behind him. And usually you want to put this guy in the middle, but we're gonna leave him there for right now and see if anything transpires. Different formations will be different, so he doesn't necessarily get that angle, but he gets in position to kind of help squeeze the gap. Let me see. Usually you want to kind of put him. Sorry, this kitten is playing with my toes. Don't chew on that. What the fuck wrong with you? No. Alright. Again, just I think right here. Blitz behind them. Usually, like, we could spread the linebacker. So again, you want to have that guy out wide. I'll press Ruggs just because I don't want him to get a quick pass. Kind of look at everything. I think for the most part I'm okay. Look at her. We get a shed. Nice shed. Versus the run. That's all you got to do, man. Like, you could probably play with it a little bit. You probably put the vert hook on this side. Blitz over there. And then probably create space. We could spread those linebackers. Put him right back there. And then we should possibly should be some kind of space. You just kind of see which gap opens. He's not gonna have like a lot, you know. I know he's in a stronger formation. But I need to change that audible because you don't want to have blitzes as your audibles unless it's man blitz. Like, that's the only way I would do it. Don't put zone blitzes in your audibles because you're gonna get exploited in coverage. Which really just goes to reckon I might just play cover 6, the man, 3 buzz, Tampa 2 maybe would be completely fine. I'm just gonna back out of here and we're gonna play a game because I know that's what y'all want to see anyway. So hopefully I don't get blue screen. And I get blue screened. Luckily it happens now. I'll be back.